Good morning, citizens. Tonight, there will be a ceremony to celebrate the proclamation of two sister republics on the Long Island mainland. I fortuitously announce, with great pride and apologies, pride is an unbecoming word to the tradition of spirit to which these republics owe their genesis. I will not speak the word again. It is offensive to some in our sects. To proclaim two sister republics, the Christian Republic of Crown Heights and the Christian Republic of Flatbush. The official language of both of these territories will be English. There will be no official state religion. Christian is simply a demonym for the ethnocultural identity that has promulgated in the years henceforward after arrival, in the ensuing years, one would say. I am not a spokesman for either party. Either party partition membership of any societies, no nationality representing anything like that. No, I'm a neutral individual of neutral origins, of neutral backgrounds, with zero allegiance to any parties. But I do say that those who wish to proclaim these republics proclaim it on this day, the Sabbath of the Jews. The Jews will have at least one day before they react to this republic. We, of course, understand and recognize the minority of sects within the Christian Republic who take the Sabbath of the Jews as their own. We do not wish to discriminate against these groups. They are actually keenly parts of political leaders in some of these partitions. We don't want to alienate them. But we do want to send a direct message on this, the Sabbath of the Jews, that we are not going to comfortably accommodate or accept new settlers near their territories. We do not wish to see an expansion of white settlers in our land. We do not want to see encroachment upon our homes, our residences by immigrants. And we know that the Jewish authorities on the local level, without any state consecrated authority, and the multicultural government, so-called, of the Republic of Brooklyn is an unfettered market state. And in this I do seem like I'm breaking my neutrality. But neutral is relative, really. And so I'm only partisan in economic terms. So I don't care about any of the racial oppressions of my country might commit, or the Brooklyn Republic might commit. I don't care about social injustice. I will not talk about social injustice. I am a neutral individual. Will not discuss. But I will say that the economic comparison of Brooklyn properties are very hard to come by. The values are high. They don't reserve adequate amounts of land for their lower classes of people. And if their lower classes of people are the higher classes of people in the adjacent republic, they're going to want to forge a client state. That's what we're doing. We're going to forge I really fucked up now, didn't I? Because I said we, and I'm neutral. Okay, so you might think I'm a spy of some kind. You can do that. You can stereotype us. People say that we spy on everybody. As an I spy on black people. I spy on white people. I spy on Asians. I spy on groups of people that don't speak English by learning their languages. This horrifying stereotype that we're all culturally astute spies who have cosmopolitan appearances and charms. It's very terrible. We're often used to replace other groups of people in the media. It's atrocious. I don't want to own those stereotypes. I'm, but I can speak pretty freely about the internets because this internet is over here and the other internet is over there. So you can't, for it to travel from my internet in this country to your internet with your censorship rights, who knows, this won't come in adulterated form. So I can say what I want. I fucked up there, but I could say what I want. I'm not a spy. I'm just I'm a satirist and a humorist. We have the freest press in the world for those who can read it. We do say it is a shame that we have a population, a large, undeveloped group of people that they've struggled economically ever since they've come to this country, but they're always welcome to stay. They're welcome to stay as long as they work in my country. Obviously, as an MRI, I can't say I would discriminate too much against the Caucasian people and the Asian people. We always respect hardworking foreign stock in this land, so we like Asian people. I like everybody. I'm not going to say it would be racist to say I had a special affinity for blacks because they're the majority of this country, or they're the wealthiest people in this country, or the dominant class of this country, or they speak the dominant language of this country. But I'm not allegiant. I do not allege to racial politics. This is sanctimonious. This is not sanctimonious. This is a sanctum. This is a I'm drawing a box around it. A reserve. Don't think about it. So I'm warning the public in Brooklyn, if you speak English. I can't say this all in Amerikaans. It would take a very long time to translate in Amerikaans. I don't speak it well. We don't teach it in the schools, and we shouldn't. We don't teach Spanish in the schools, as you know. The language laws are very important in this country. We keep the populace bilingual in English and French. Very few Spanish speakers. The ruling class is the only group of people allowed to speak Spanish, even though we all know that the society is one that is engineered to crush the lower classes' will to learn Spanish or speak Spanish. We want them to speak the language of global commerce and trade. We can't expand without that. So it's a human rights, the rights of educational rights. It's a bit of a international offense, but some was necessary to the survival of this state and this. I won't discuss the name of my country, but it's surprisingly secular. Majority Anglican, but secular. There are many Catholics. Jews are not shunned, and Jews are welcome to power. Jews are also welcome to use digital technology. We have other immigrants, some Greeks, some true Caucasian stock, we call them. Armenian peoples and Georgian peoples and such with the writing systems. If the writing system hasn't been encroached, they're accepted. The greatest general actually is General Atsimolgu. The greatest admiral is Admiral Vickery, but admirals tend to have Anglo-Saxon surnames. A prime minister can have any kind of a surname. Our prime minister's surname is Hem Li. That's a Chinese surname, to some degree, as much as we know. The key point I'm trying to point is that the fact that we are a secular republic that has a very tenuous balance of faiths and tongues, everything must be checked. The press, we have a big invasive press problem. Racialist filth coming from Anglo-America and territories like it was once from coming out of South Africa. And when that media control is exported into our country, we resist. We only allow it to come from the part of Cuba that speaks English and our Anglophone trading partners in the North Atlantic. It's a rational, honorable choice. I could wax philosophical about the culture and politics of our universe, but it's not relevant to this proclamation. The republics are who they say they are. We will recognize the Christian authority as we would recognize the authority of a Jewish state of Israel, which we do, and Islamic states throughout the world. The Islamic Republic of Iran exists. There's a slew of Islamic kingdoms that the Jamaica states will not recognize because we do not consume petroleum to appreciable quantities. We've come up with a financial system that forces our inferior trade partners to use the devil's product that we call the blood of the devil. The scale of our republic is different. We still use nuclear power a lot, and hydroelectric, and really petroleum we just consume the market. People would say we're hypocrites. People would say we're oppressors, but we are a small country, so I can show you many large countries that have a much more massive footprint. Anglo-America, for instance. Well, there's almost 100 million of them now. But the standard of living is lower. It's a white settler country with some African-blooded people who were brought as enslaved people. But ultimately, they became a failed state. They couldn't expand because of the king. They did not rise up. It didn't matter because the French still swept through and decimated the natives. But the lost opportunity in the English colonies. I mean, they became a backward nation. They lost their moment to shine, and we emerged because we were on Long Island. And only the republics on Long Island are, there's a global trade bias that comes to this region. And it's partitioned thus. So, stay out of the rain.